really taking a look at, and that's what everyone needs to be careful about is, are we going to see those bounces come through? Are we going to see that straight up 35, 40-minute late game? If that's true, that's going to be a massive problem if, of course, the Narwhal Esports squad is not careful.
But to get those ornaments out, we got to make it to the late game. And to get to the late game, we got to make it through the early game. And right now, 40 seconds in, we do see the 5-champ stack coming out of the spawn of LLS, where the Narwhals, they've gone for that traditional 5-point start. And with how things have, I would say, positioned so far, it could be both junglers starting on their red buff and pathing away from one another. But I think that's exactly how it's going to go as we tick over that 1-minute mark.
I wouldn't be surprised either to see a level 2 gank coming in from Match Setter. I would actually hope so. I want to see that level 2 J4 have a very large impact. For Cuddles on the other side, I am expecting a little bit slower. Now again, level 6 is of course where you pop off, but these lanes do provide a lot of advantages. If you go to the top side, hey, you can get Gwen ahead. If you go to the mid lane, you can burn those Valkyries out of the Corki very quickly. So there's a lot of options, but I do expect a full clear from the Amumu. I hope we get to see a gank from Match Setter early on, but it's not impossible to have, a full clear from the J4 as well.
The full clear is definitely the safer option, and I think right now you almost want a standard early game just to make sure you can hit your scaling points at an even pace to your enemy. And we did see that the bot side for the Narwhals did get an early push because they didn't have a jungler to leash for, and that means that they could back off the wave earlier if we needed to. If Match Setter went for that level 2 gank, they could have been expecting it as well. So we do see that junglers, both starting red buff, will path away from one another. And Narwhal, they're playing towards the bot lane, which I think is the right choice to do in this case.
It's play smart, play efficiently, and understand that your lanes do not pop off just yet. Bobby does not have the proper guns, of course, still waiting with that Severum as well as the Calibrum. Just, okay, go ahead, snipe, and a lifesteal up, play smart in that sense. You can see a little bit of the slower route coming out from Cuddles. That is a big worry that we're going to have to see. This does mean that it's going to be a draw on the bot side, but look at that hook. Very nice damage.
Ooh. And that's the all-in potential that you get with a Nautilus. And I think Amumu's clear will be just fine overall. I was actually a little surprised with how long it took to do the multi-camps, because usually that's where Amumu is strongest, because you get the tantrum back quicker. But right now, you see Nautilus, those early hooks definitely make a difference, especially if you land them onto a squishy support. You know Lulu wants to go for the poke. That means she also steps up and can be abused. And so we do see Match Setter working his way topside. We'll just go for the Scuttle Crab by the looks of it, as the pings do go down onto Joloff. But still, the bot lane is where the action will be. There it is, the hook lands on Lulu, the heal comes through, and the Ignite's down. This Lulu goes down first, but it could be a traded kill 1-for-1 as Mythical Mage is trying to get it back down and gets zoned off by the Nautilus. So the Nautilus goes back in, gets another good chunk of damage down, and Mythical Mage has to be careful here because that's a quite healthy Nautilus standing in front of your way.
Yeah, that's always such a dangerous spot to be in, and honestly, I wouldn't have been unworried if we saw, but we hear a ghost in the top side.
Ooh, it's going to be Gwen trying to snip her way down the goat. And it's looked like the goat claps back right now. Maybe a little bit too horny for this early game. And, well, Gwen, she gets burned down to a crisp. And Bobby, well, he gets clapped by Match Setter. But Captain Purple Cuddles is there as well. So it's going to be a trade kills. So across the board, 2 for 2. But definitely an advantage for the bot side for Narwhals.
Narwhal's going to enjoy that one. Of course, it is a bit of a question in their own right. This does lend itself to a nice bot side fight. However, top side, you don't like hearing the Gwen actually fall down there. The Gwen needs to be a little bit of a danger. You want to keep that Ornn in check as much as possible. Also, the trade out in the jungle routes, match setter getting an earlier gank now means that this is a problem. You do have to keep eyes. Captain Cuddles might actually be a little bit slower to get back out to the camp clear, which means that the J4 is possibly hitting that level 6 earlier on. This will lead it to a much more accelerated pace that J4 should understand they have the advantage and be looking to influence the lanes in that matter.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Jarvan does have jungle tempo right now, where Amumu, you know, he doesn't need the tempo. As long as he's not getting invaded, he can safely farm. He's doing his job. He was there to counter gank, and that did help his team overall. So if he's not being proactive, it's not the worst thing right now because he doesn't win the 1v1s. So being off tempo of Jarvan to keep your distance could actually be a 5-head move right now.
I mean, it always could be. Of course, time will only tell how far along this goes because, again, late game, Cuddles will have a little bit stronger level 6. What's surprising is, of course, this top lane, or this top and mid, and honestly, all of them are just kind of waiting around this dragon, and I'm surprised it's not being a priority for either of these teams. I understand it's a mountain dragon. You don't have to go for it, but it would be nice, right? It would be nice to get started stacking. It would be nice to have control over there, and the fact that the first ganks really went down to the bot side make me very, very excited. However, match setter now getting caught and not enjoying the damage going down here.
Ooh. Interesting direction in flag and drag there, but Ornn, the tipsy bartender, is there, and that's going to be a whole lot of damage on the move as he flashes to try and secure the kill, but it just isn't enough. And now Potato, he's got his potato cannon charged and ready to go, and he's throwing them at Syndra. But right now, I'm going to say his potatoes are a little bit on the small side.
Yep, this is just a very nice play. Again, great call. Tipsy had a large wave pushing in, so the fact that matchsetter didn't actually flag and drag out, but instead flag and dragged up, is a big difference and a great heads-up play. And it means that, of course, Tipsy doesn't have to worry about too much. You're still okay to keep fighting, you're not too worried, and now the bot side is all you have to worry about.
Ooh, Bobby's going low, but they get the kill on two. The Lulu, and it's traded 1-for-1, and now Mythical Mage, who kept their flash from last time, is able to get to safety. So another 1-for-1 trade, and it looks like supports picked up both kills there, but now it's Gwen and the GOAT, Ornn, Ramp, fighting in the top lane, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a stalemate right now. Gwen does get the Lions to share the damage across, but now Match Spinner is going in on Eel. Eel with a good flash out. The Nautilus stays safe, as you also saw the Corki roaming down around Dragon, so a potential full commit here, and a good hook under tower. And now Bobby could look for a kill on the match setter here, but the Jarvan makes it to the bush and drops vision. So it's close, but he stays safe for now.
Yeah, it's very, very dangerous, and the fact that match setter actually went bot is a problem for spawn of LS. I would actually say keep looking towards that mid and top side. You have a little bit of a difference at this point. Mythical and Zetos are actually farming up okay. They're keeping in line. Yes, they don't have a massive lead or anything, but you can't be giving opportunities over to Bobby Filet or anything like that. You need to just have your bot lane get to the late game in a nice position. Yes, this is going to give over Dragon, though. Because of that fight, match setter cannot contest, and that leaves it to Narwhal Esports. They're going to start spearheading their way forward and looking to stack that up as much as possible. I'm curious what Soul is going to be. But overall, great start to both sides. It's a very even, quiet, oh, I wouldn't say quiet, but a very nice start for either side. Even in gold, just a kill difference.
This might be a controversial opinion, but that Mountain Dragon, I think, could be the most important dragon of the game. Because both teams are that beefy, having an extra 4%, 4 or 6, I think it could be 6% additional armor and magic resist on your tanks on your front line is massive, especially if that's the only one that you can get. So I feel like this dragon needed to be prioritized, as you said, heavily by both teams, and it just wasn't. And now Bartender could be cut down here by the true damage coming out of Gwen. but he gets under tower with a flash and stays alive. Now Match Setter could be looking for a follow-up here. And oh, it could be a close one, but the ultimate lands, the knockup does it, and so Gwen with Ghost is trying to buy some time to get locked down by the Cataclysm, and it's going to go over to Match Setter as the bartender is there for moral support, I'll say.
I mean, it was a great start with the Orenhorn as well, so we are still seeing these fights go the way as Spawna LS. Now, the big thing to keep in mind, they're not 1v1s or anything like that. They're not 1v1s or 2v2s. It is consistently Match Setter setting up these plays or following up on the plays behind. So that is something to keep in mind. The reason I say that, Narwhal, you know that your lanes are actually having a good time in lane. As long as you can keep track of Match Setter, you may actually not have this issue anymore. You may be able to track Match Setter and get good 2v2s or 1v1s for yourself and get kills that way. You're already seeing the trading pattern. It's why Tipsy Bartender was so low in that top side. So it's something to kind of think about and something to really watch for if we do get to see a change up. However, Corporal Cuddles is level 7, so I expect to see the Curse of the Sad Mummy come out. At least I want to see the pressure and the almost scare tactic of the Amumu come out.
You know, big sigh, because we haven't seen the Curse of the Sad Mummy yet. That ultimate is a game changer, and the fact that it hasn't been used anywhere is a little bit alarming, but now it could be used right now as the Corki gets locked down and blown up. That is a pretty heavy investment here, and now Bobby Flay goes on to Mystical Mage. The Mage is down, and now Setter goes in, sets up another kill, so it's a 1-for-1 once more in Zetos. He's low, but the Cataclysm locks in Nautilus. And so now Cuddles, he could be in a potential 1v2 situation. I think he needs to find a way on Zetos to try and get something here. Otherwise, he disappointingly and without friends has to walk away.
Yep, just this is again Match Setter just being a massive bully. We are seeing this happen time and time again. If Match Setter's there, it goes a completely different direction. However, in a cut-off universe, in a solo universe, it is all theirs. Of course, in the top side, it's a 1v1 once again.
Ooh, and yeah, Gwen, that true damage is just chipping away at Oren, and, well, I guess Gwen finally has gotten her lamb chops there because, well, Oren's dead. Now she gets some solo pressure top, maybe a plate here, but she opts for the back as the Rift Herald gets dropped mid. That's going to be a plate and a half, maybe 2 plates there, depending on how it works. But a good roam by Nautilus, and now Scatter the Weak lands as well onto the Flash. So it could be a dead Corki here, but he's able to scour and scamp his way to the tower. And he lives.
Yeah, there was no unleashed power, so pretty safe there. That's why they just kind of walked out. Of course, you had to burn the Flash, but it was a Flash for Flash. You're okay with that. Main thing, Potato is farming up relatively well, and Corki, again, in the mid-game will be much stronger there. Also, keep eyes on when the next package is going to come around. I want to see that package used to a proper extent. We do see a Cloud Dragon for the second one of the game, and that one should be picked up very nicely. I want to see the Narwhals look for it more. The Gwen and the Amumu will both utilize those very well. Also, it can help offset a little bit of the on the hunt, so... You know, it's a dragon to stack. It's not all important, but I also prize move speed quite a bit in certain compositions.
I would agree with that as well. Move speed can be an underrated stat until you see it on someone like Udyr, Hecarim, Kayn, Singed, where the move speed makes all the difference. And on the hunt is one of those things where you add move speed to your move speed. Next thing you know, you're just chasing down anyone that you can. But really what I personally want to see here is Narwhals shutting down the catalyst for the spawn of Ellis, shutting down Match Setter. Whether that's better vision, more frequent fights, forcing the Jarvan to respond to your efforts could be massive. And this is a dangerous fight for the Narwhals to position for right now. There's 4 bot here for the spawn of LS, and the Narwhals, they're a little bit scattered. Cuddles here is going to be looking for an engage. We see 3 on the pit, but he blast cones his way out. Narwhal has decided to give this objective, probably because Corki there has that package.
Yep, package is just a little bit too scary, and again, it's a Cloud. As much as people sometimes enjoy it, it's not all important. The next one up is going to be an Ocean, so it's, you know, it's its own dangerous factor, and that one I do expect to be fought over a decent bit. It might not be the Infernal or anything like that, but you don't want to give consistent healing out to either side. That's going to be a problem. So for now, go back to the drawing board, keep trying to farm up, and hopefully Tipsy can be fine, but Match Setter looking for that jump in.
Ooh, and with that goes, Bobby Fillet is going to be filleted there by the Jarvan flag and drag. And now the Crystal Side Momentum comes in. They get the shutdown onto the Jarvan. Now the TPs come through. It's going to be a team fight here in the bot lane. Mythical Mage is trying to run out. And Zenos is down. And the Tipsy Bartender is looking for the Ram Horn and turn this one around. But he's going to dash out. Potatoes is there, and he's going to look on in yearning, wishing he still had his package.
It was well fought, honestly, and again, Narwhals, they were quicker on the draw, went for the fight after the catch. They were seeing how much was being expended by Spawn of LS to go for Bobby Flay, but now it's a dance back. Shlomonka looking, one more Q.
Ooh, Potato makes it out of here so far. And a potential turnaround here as Gwen is forced back. Those rockets now starting to do a little bit of damage there. That, what is it? Manamune almost stacked up completely, but Tipsy here in a 1v5 situation should go down, but the dredge line misses, and so Nautilus failing the engage gives Ornn the escape needed.
Just a slight edge, and honestly, you see everyone still dancing on the tips of their toes. It's a good win, good pickup for Little Monka. You're able to get that kill and able to kind of force your way back into this mid lane. Because again, as a Syndra, you're not early game anymore. You're mid to late game. You want the scaling. You want the extra buffs with the shards. But you do want to start bursting out. This is starting to hit that mid game point. You're starting to reach that point of contact where we should see the rest of Spawn of LS look to group up. That first fight in the bot side, well, you overextended for the Aphelios. This time around, expect to get that front line a little bit in a bit more dangerous spot. Potato is going to be the one that is dishing out that side angle damage. You want to try and get that poke down with those rockets and look to be that beast. But for right now, with the bot lane and the mid lane and around the river, you get your second Herald of the game. So great control, at least over some of the global objectives.
I like the macro coming out from the Spawn of LS. They rotated their bot mid to make sure that they secure the Rift Herald. But now, Potato potentially in a little bit of danger. Just Valkyries over the wall. The Death Charge comes through, and they're looking at tower dive this? What? No, run, Bobby, run! Well, he's not forced, he couldn't run. So, that's also going to be Amaniel dropping, but he flashes over the wall to stay alive. Thought for sure there's going to be a double kill for Potato, and that Cataclysm onto the Syndra forces the flash there. And now Movement goes in, catches two with the ultimate. The Unleashed Power gets Sivir, Match Setter gets the Syndra, and it's going to be a one fight here for the Spawn of LS, but Eel comes in at the end to help turn it around, and now Lulu is going to run her little Yordle legs off, but Amumu is going to find a friend after all, at least for a little bit.
Yeah, this is the team's just overextending every so often. We see the aggression coming out of Match Setter, which is great, but Mythical Mage does not actually have the damage behind him. You can see the Navori Quick Blades inside of the pocket. You don't actually have a whole lot of damage, so trying to follow up behind Match Setter is going a little bit too far out of their reach. But that is just because Match Setter is the strong point. You take a look at the item difference in the kills, 5 kills on the J4. That's why you see the index into Bruiser's side. So you are the strong one. However, it's getting some of the opponents caught out. It's getting, Little Monka enough range to catch the ADC. If that continues to happen, it will be a very definitive issue.
Ooh, now Potato Valkyrie's out, but doesn't get the distance needed, and so the bot lane of Narwhals get their revenge on the Potato.
That's a great catch. It's just a very nice catch once again. This is Narwhal Esports starting to hit their stride. And as I said, this mid-game and late-game, or mid-game I would say, is going to be theirs. Their damage profile is a little bit better. Plus, Bobby has gotten online. The combination of the Nautilus and the Aphelios brings about so much of an angle that no one can really dance with it. So, looking at this overall, this dragon should also be theirs, unless Potato is able to get on the map and be able to help out. But again, there is no package, I believe. Or there is a package, so you are able to bring that in. Can you TP in fast enough, though?
Ooh, he's TPing from the top laners as well. It's going to be an epic team fight here. And there goes Matchsetter, gets Cataclysm on one. The horn comes through. It's going to be a good Crystal Sad Mummy as well. The CC comes through. It's overlaps. Now Potato's off to the side trying to fire rockets, but it doesn't quite matter there as Bobby Flay gets that good, clean kill on Potato. And now Tipsy's trying to run away, but he can't run away in a straight enough line to make it. And now Lulu gets tagged by the bandage toss and potentially goes down. But for now, stays alive. And that was one chaotic, quick fight.
I mean, if you're the spawn of LS, you did everything you could. You got the Cataclysm down. You got all the, the burn damage down from the carpet, from that bomb. But it's just not enough. You look down the line, no one else can really do damage again. And I hate pointing this out. Mythical Mage just couldn't do it. It was honestly the rest of Narwhal knowing their damage output. They were able to clean up on the back line, and Bobby Flay had the perfect gun combination up. You saw the chakrams flying, and I feel this doesn't have to worry.
Yep.
Didn't, pit stop for the Mythic, has the legendary, that Kraken Slayer perfectly in pocket. You're good. You're golden. You just need your front line to tank. And then Joel. Joel had a field day while they were alive, has enough damage, has that lifesteal in there as well, so you're golden. The entire team is optimized here. In the mid game, I don't think there's a time where Spawn of LS will have a perfect opportunity until a few minutes longer. They need Mythical to get more items.
Yeah, they need more items on their AD carry. Now, potential fight here as Orin gets knocked up on one, Scatter the Weak lands on two. Matchsetter, he gets the flag and drag, but the Elite power comes down. He's still alive, though. The Core Trigger doing it work. And Cinder goes down. Now it's he'll potentially focus next, but it's Matchsetter going down. Tipsy gets pulled back in by the Dreadfly, flashes out, tries to dash, but it doesn't happen. And now Mythical Mage ain't so mythical anymore as he visits the gray screen once more. The realm of death. Maybe gets to say hello to Curtis or Mordekaiser down there.
Yep, this is, again, Matchsetter trying to draw the team in for a fight, and again, Matchsetter is strong, but the rest of the team is not. Very nicely done by Narwhals to fully rotate in. They get themselves a Baron. It is very appropriate. You look down the line, multiple bounties on the heads as well. This is looking like a Narwhal game. Even if Mythical is able to hit 3 or 4 items, it's not going to be enough. Honestly, Narwhals have played this so well.
Yeah, you could say they're having a whale of a good time. But either way, their attacks, their strategy has been pointed, and really, they've speared through their competition right now. And they look good doing it. It's hard to critique them. Maybe a few overextends here and there, but they always get something off of those fights as well. And now Potato looking for a potential something there, but has to Valkyrie out, but it doesn't matter as the depth charge comes through. CC lands, and, well, that Potato is not going to be causing any more issues. It's a rotten Potato. It's tossed away.
And that also means that Potato and Mythical are now both down and out. You don't really have a major damage dealer. This is a time where Spawn of LS have to admit that they are behind. They have to sit there and go, okay, we're not in a good spot. We need to start playing for picks, and we need to start figuring out our answer strategies. Your strategies at this point, look for solo targets. Yes, it's hard. I understand that, but that's all you really have. You can't find 2 or 3 members and say, hey, we got him. There's no shred on the back line. The fact that a tower dive could also come out and Mythical Mage is not safe right here speaks and attests to Narwhal's strength in the current game state.
They're also pushing all 3 lanes right now as well. You could see Matchsetter hovering mid. He does get the flank on the buff play, and that's a great escape by Bobby there. Whew. Has the Gale Force, which we talked about being nerfed, uses it to perfection there in time with his flashing ghost to make sure he avoids a 3-man collapse. Absolutely beautiful there by Bobby Fillet. And now that means his team gets pressure and chip damage elsewhere on the map. And these little advantages really do add up to a win.
I mean, it's appropriate, and now you give yourself a little bit of chance to fight back. A fight over the buff as well goes your way, but this is the dangerous spot.
Ooh, it's a 3-man cataclysm. That's a lot of sustain coming out of Match Center. Good flash out. Maybe they get cuddles, but it doesn't matter, as that was a great ultimate out of the Moo there. Gwen's doing her thing up top, and ultimately it results in a pick for the Narwhal team.
Yeah, this has been, again, Narwhals, they don't care. They're fighting around. They have no fear. Even though it takes a while to get back out to this dragon, they know they have it under their own control. The Aphelios, completely strong now. Syndra sitting on 2.5. Around the entire world, they are in control. And, I mean, if Spawn of LS do decide to try and fight this, I fear for their lives. Your best bet is to have Match Setter pray that they don't do the dragon, but at this point, I mean, it's a done deal. Soul point currently set up for Narwhals, as they could just push up mid and be fine. I don't think they have any problems there. Of course, Joel will be happy to go ahead and look at a split push scenario, but at this point, it's just kind of crossing your T's and dotting your I's. This is Narwhal's game to win.
I agree with you there, Orbital, that it is Narwhal's game to win. They're up 8 kills. They're up 2 dragons. They recently had Baron. They have map priority everywhere. I mean, they've only lost a single tower so far and a dragon. Like, sure, we saw that, I believe, the Spawn of LS picked up both Rift Heralds. To what advantage, though? And now Gwen is being collapsed on, but I think she can 1v2 here because Match Setter is only level 13. Tipsy's down 2 levels as well. But if it's a 4v1, Gwen may not survive it as Cataclysm comes down. And that's a lot of sustain, but it goes over to Tipsy Bartender. And now Mythical Mage needs to be careful here. Nautilus could look for a flash over the wall, but it's actually going to be a death charge. Gets knocked up, but Sivir made it to safety. And that is crucial. Otherwise, I think that tower drops.
Very hard to agree there. And of course, though, even though you got the kill on Gwen, the rest of your base is falling. At this point, you're just trying to get consolation prize money. You're just going for those extra kills, just looking for that chance. Oh, no, Match Setter.
No, Match Setter, how could you? Now, he's probably going to go down here, but the Flag and Dry comes up in time. The follow-up band touch doesn't come through. And now Mythical looks to be doing a little bit of damage, at least in squishes. He goes in, gets 2. The Scatter of the Week comes through as well. The Bobby Filet is in the wrong position, and he's going to go down. This could be the fight that Spawn on LS are looking for. They haven't picked up another kill yet, but the mover goes down, and the rest of the member of the Narwhals are looking to becoming extinct here. But the victory, Narwhal comes in the shape of a seamstress. She's got the scissors, she's got the needles, and she is cutting through the threads of success that the Spawn of LS team had created for themselves there, and she is still going, and Match Setter just can't get through the sustain. Scatter of the Week comes through to secure that kill, and the Narwhal team, off of the back of Gwen, should seize victory very soon. Lulu's running for her little Yordle life, and maybe survives, maybe doesn't. It all depends on Syndra if she checks the alcove, and she doesn't. So Zetos makes it to safety.
Nice to have overall, and it was looking good. Spawn of LS found a perfect team fight. Yes, Match Setter wasn't there, but the chase down was good, and we had a small window to see into what Mythical can do. We saw the shred coming out. Bobby Filet was caught in a very dangerous scenario, but now, again, a slight overextension. I wouldn't even call it an overextension. Joe just being able to take over is amazing. We see the strength of their wallets right now as they even collect the Baron, and that should be enough. Remember, these fights have been happening as the team is fragmented for Narwhals. Narwhals are fine now. They have all 5 members on the board. They do not care. They're perfectly happy about the current state of the game, and I expect them to start pushing down this last tower as well as break some inhibitors.
Good macro is always a solid choice, whether it's from fights or just your own proactivity. The macro is benefiting Narwhals right now. It seems like after every major fight, they're able to walk right into an objective, take that, and continue their snowballing efforts because their lead has grown to 9,000, give or take. Yeah, 9,000, give or take. Mental math on stream is always challenging. And the Soul Dragon is up in 50 seconds. So we are guaranteed a banger of a fight there.
I expect one more to go down, and I mean, this is also the dangerous part. If Narwhals are able to pick this one up, it's going to be a big problem.
Oh, great warning gauge there. They're going to catch Nautilus out, but that was a lot used for that. Bobby Place is safe. Match Center maybe overstepping there. And it's Gwen free pushing top, breaking the inhibitor line. And this really does put the Spawn of LS on crush there. Cataclysm goes in, they get Bobby Filet, and with two members there, it may not be enough for the Narwhal team to win it. But the Crimson Side Mummy goes down, he's going to catch up with Full Mage, when Full Mage flashes out to safety. The Mummy dies, and it's going to be Joe Locke going for the game-winning push. He's got to make it past the potato. He's got to do what the Irish couldn't, survive it. Now, it's going to be Syndra in a 1v4. The Unleashed Power doesn't kill Match Setter, so the chase could come through, but it's an overextension there as the Purple Balls of Doom, I forget what they're actually called, come out from Syndra to get the kill there. And so Mythical and Zetos survive, but they can't push for the Dragon just yet. So I'm going to say both teams, they reset and come right back to it.
I mean, that was Spawn of LS taking a chance that they had to. That was a very desperate play for them. We saw what just happened, Joel being a strong solo pusher at this point. And again, this is Narwhals not being on that scary point. They're not having to be the ones to fight for Dragon. They don't have to be pulled every which way. They can play this at their own tune, and that's what we're seeing here. A startup of the Dragon, a battle on two fronts, leaves the entirety of Spawn of LS lost. They will not be able to gather anything of the sort. They will lose this Dragon. And take a look down the itemization path. There is not a single Grievous Wounds item with the Secure of the Soul. This now means any extended team fight, unless it's a 1v4 or 1v5, will not be won by Spawn of LS.
Okay, I gotta call you out there. There is an Executioner's Sword on the Jargon right now. And he goes in with his Spike Drag, catches 3 to Cataclysm. He's gonna heal up as much as he can, but it doesn't quite matter as the damage comes through. The Moonlight Vigil finds the kill. Zetos gets absolutely blasted by Scatter of the Week, and you can tell that Lulu is truly weak because she was scattered into a million pieces. And now Tipsy, he calls in the Horn, and it's going to get a little bit of a slow. But Gwen is more than happy to chase down the Goat for dessert as the rest of her team, as the Narwhals, they push into the Spawn of LS base, and they take the inhibitor towers, they take the inhibitors, and they look to end it with this push.
Just looking like strong ones. They want to go for the end, but I mean, they want to pad the stats too. It's never a bad thing.
Yeah, and maybe they just want all 5 on screen as well. Potato's trying to get it across, but it doesn't quite matter as Unleashed Power ends the Potato's life. Zetos is going to look onwards from the fountain. Dredge line comes through. The Nexus goes down, and in a 33-minute banger that saw 50 kills, it's going to be the Narwhals coming out on top. Whew.
They did it in style, and again, this composition just had a better damage profile. You look up and down the line, neither the top, the mid, the jungle, the bot lane, I don't think there was a single time where it wasn't in their favor. The only issue, of course, in the early game was Match Setter. Match Setter looked great. Spawn of LS, amazing jungler there, was able to find those opportunities, was a step ahead at every turn, and honestly, if it were on a carry jungler, probably could have seen a different outcome. Could have seen that crazy kind of carry potential. But the J4, again, is only as good as the rest of the team. You cannot go Assassin J4 and get away with it. So you had to go Bruiser, and unfortunately, Bruiser tends to fall off. It was a well-fought battle. But for Narwhals, they go ahead and move on to the grand finals.
Yep. And one thing I've personally experienced is that when a Jarvan gets ahead, it's very hard to stay ahead. The best thing you can do as a Jarvan is get your team ahead. And unfortunately, too much gold ended up on Match Setter there. He did his best. It looked good. But at the end of the day, it was the Narwhals scaling and power spikes that really came through. Especially Bobby Filet, the Syndra, even Joel off on the Gwen. They hit these crucial spikes and then popped off. But I want to say the unsung hero of that all was Cuddles, who had some fantastic Amumu ults to really set up his carries throughout the game. And he had the impact that was needed from the jungle, from the setup, from the front line to really make the difference there. So kudos all around to the Narwhal team. And as you mentioned, Orbital, they're off to the grand finals, and we do have that matchup. It's going to be the Engineers, their team A, versus the Narwhals. So we are going to throw it to a quick break, and when we come back, it will be for that matchup for the grand finals, and it will be a best of 3. So grab your refreshments, grab a snack, and meet us back here.